Hey buddies, 54 Nisar, and this is part, I believe, 3 of Dog Days tutorial platformer. This one is going to be kind of shorter than the rest, but it's going to detail on a very, very important part. And this is going from one level to another level. So let me explain how this will work. So in the game, you'll click play, you go to layer. This is layer 2, and if you go to the resources below every single video is going to be a where I got my resources. So you're going to have this the locked box, but remember we were talking about animations. You're going to add another animation, and each animation is going to be 1 frame. So unlocked is going to be basic blue, and locked is going to be the one with like a lock on it. Okay, now we have that. What we're going to do is tell it some code. Also, some of you guys were asking how big these things were. Each one of these is, if I can click on it. Here we go. Each one of these is 100. It's not like selecting it to where I can see because I'm in the middle of recording, but each one of these little boxes, these little blue boxes, is 100. And what you don't see is I have these. One moment. I have these like little gold icons and all that stuff. Set at opacity. So there's one. I'm going to set it back to opacity of 0. So I put all 3 of them. These little gold medallions that you saw in the last episode all over this box, but I set their opacity, their visibility to 0, so you can't see them. I'll explain to that in a little bit. I'm just going to explain what we're going to do in every single layout. Layout 3, the level. So basically what's happening in here is we're doing the level, and it's a there we go. It's just a little slow. Don't know why. So basically, I need to minimize this. Okay, so basically, we are getting the cookies, and we're checking them, and we're saying, okay, if it has this many, we're gonna get, this metal. If we're gonna get, this many, we're gonna get that metal. So we know the minimum we can get is 10 because 10 is, this, big cookie's the one that tells us, okay, you finished the level. So once we finish the level, this will then check, okay, how many cookies does he have? Does he have more than 10 or less than 10? So let's go into the code for that. Event sheet 2. As you can see, I've added a few more, but we're going to zoom in so we can see everything. So, okay, let's go through everything, even though we've gone through it probably before. So on left clicked sprite 8, this is that right here, this sprite. Go to layout 3, set cookie counter to 0. This means every time we play that level, it won't count any of the previous cookies that we collected. So we can say we got a silver, for some reason we didn't want to collect one, we just wanted to skip to the end. Well, that's only 10 cookies. So when we play it again, it's going to count them. So you always want to say, set cookie counter to 0. And to do that, all you would have to do is go to System, Set Value, and just click the variable, set cookie counter, and just put a 0 there. So it's cookie counter to 0. Step 2. Cookie, okay, so this is where we're going to say cookie counter if greater than 10. So, okay, remember in level 1 we can only collect 11 cookies. So if it's greater than 10 cookies, then set the opacity of the gold medallion to 100, so it's clearly visible. But if cookie counter is equal to 10, remember because some of these things can get very complicated because you're not just writing out code, you're doing little drag and drop logic boxes. So we have to do some weird fumbling. So the previous one was if it's greater than 10, then put gold. If it's equal to 10, because you did the minimum amount of work, set the opacity for silver. Because we can't get any lower than 10, there's no bronze. But in the next level, to where we're going to actually be collecting 20 cookies, if you collect 10, then it's bronze. If it's greater than 10, but less than, say, 15, then you get silver. And if it's gold, that means you collected 20 plus. But there's only going to be 20 cookies. So on start a layout, you want, so let's go through this real quick. Cookie counter greater than 10, set it to gold. Remember, we can collect 11. Silver, cookie counter equals 10, set it to silver. And because we don't, we can't get any less, there's not going to be any bronze. But I have that option there because I'm going to select all this and put it into the code for the next button. On start of layout, so on the start of layout, I just did this because sometimes you have problems with layering, so I wanted the gold, bronze, and silver to be on the top of the layout, even though you can't see them yet. So when they do become visible, no other sprite or object is, hiding them. Okay, and now this is to deal with, this is to deal with this locked box. Now we're on that. See, right now, it's set animation is to locked by default. Now we want it to set to unlocked. If this is set, what do you call it? If it's higher than 1, because, well, as long as you pass and get, because you're always going to have to get the last cookie to get the game, or not get the game, but to, get out of the game, you're gonna have to, finish the game. So any amount of cookies, or let's just put it this way, you can skip all the cookies as long as you get the last cookie. By default, you're gonna unlock the new level. Now, in harder levels, or what we call, levels unlocking secrets or whatever, you can say, no, that level will never be unlocked until you unlock all the cookies or something like that. But you can do that. But I wanted to make it easy, but you can't have special levels. So, and cookie counter is greater or equal to 1. Remember, we can collect 10 cookies. By default, we know the minimum amount of cookies we have to collect is 10. Because when we collect a big bone, that's equal to 10 cookies, and that says, hey, we collected, we won that level. And we win silver, and then we get to the next level. So as long as we collect any amount of cookies, we are automatically able to unlock. Or as long as we collect the last cookie, which is equal to 10 cookies, we're automatically able to unlock the next level. So value to compare the variable. So as long as cookie counter is greater or equal to 1, set the lock animation. Remember, it has 2 animation properties. Set the animation to unlocked. So basically, all you're going to do is let's go back. Let's go back a little bit further. So we're going to click the lock sprite, and we're going to set sprite, and then we're just going to type in the unlocked. Remember, you have to have quotations, and then set it from beginning. Now on the next one, it gets kind of more intriguing, but at the same time, you have to make sure what you're doing is what you're doing. So right now we have 2 joined logics, and you can separate them. I'm actually going to explain these. I'm going to tell you how to do it, or explain how you can do it. So on left button, click sprite 14, or the sprite with the lock on it. Also, if this is basically saying, okay, if A is checked and B is checked, then move on to the next step, which is to do whatever you want. So, okay, if left button is clicked on the sprite 14 or lock sprite icon, this icon, then we want to also check to make sure that cookie counter is less than 1. Now, why would we want to do this? Say, okay, you automatically got into the game and you want to go to level 2. Let's forget level 1. Let's go to level 2. Well, the animation is still set to lock. You cannot unlock that level. and then you can add an action of saying, and actually we'll be doing that in the next step. I forgot about it for this one. Is to basically add an action saying, actually we could do that right now, is insert new object, insert text, and for some reason it's deciding to go haywire. Insert new object, text. Yeah, I can't do it yet. It's acting kind of haywire-ish, but it's very simple. Like I would do, and I can explain it right now. It's basically add a new text, and just set the opacity like I did for these to 0, and then overlay it here, or overlay it wherever you want. And then what you would do is, then you would say on left button click, sprite cookie counter is less than 1. Set animation to locked, but then what you do is get that sprite, and then you would set opacity to 100, and then you would put a wait delay. So okay, let's just do it real quick. So you would say something like this. So opacity to 100, then you would say wait, and this is like a little delay. So we're gonna set our delay for 4 seconds, so you actually stare at it, and then what you would do is, that's text what? Text 3. Okay, so we're going to text 3, and then what we would do is set opacity back down to 0. So that's how you would do that. Now, because my recording is kind of slowing down everything, I can't do that right now, but this is how actually you would do it. On left button clicked, if cookie counter is less than 1, set the animation to locked, play from beginning, set opacity to 100, and this is the text, and then system wait 4 seconds, and then set opacity to 0. So you're saying, and then you can in the text, we can click 1. Basically in the text you would say right here, you know, cannot open, or something like that. Not enough cookies or something like that. You would say, you have to wait, you cannot do it. But we can delete those because at this point I don't need them. You just can't open it. And then on left button clicked, sprite 14, so it's basically copy and paste, but if cookie counter is greater or equal to 1, so if it's greater than 1, remember the minimum default is 10, so we're going to have greater than 1. Set animation, actually one moment. To unlocked, and let's see if we have that correct. Yeah, unlocked. And then let's just copy that, paste it, and then move it down. Boom. And then go to layout 4. So if it's greater than 1, then set animation to unlocked, and then go to layout 4. And this is layout 4, or not layout 4, that's where the code is. This is layout 4. I haven't put anything there yet. So let's test this out, save it, and then play it. So okay, we're here in dog days, so let's hit play. We cannot go into level 2, but we can go into level 1. Our doggy is just so happy. He collects 1 doggy bone. But remember, the minimum we can, if we haven't collected that one, say we jumped over it, we just collected this one, that would be 10. But we have 11. We now have a silver, but we have a gold. But now, what if I'm really particular to silver? Okay, we're gonna go back into the game. I'm gonna jump over the bone. All I want is the big bone. Forget the tiny bone. Let's go for the big bone. Boom. We now have a silver, but I like gold now. So let's go collect all of them. Boom. We have 1, but we want the big one now. And now we have it. Now we got gold. And now, as you can see, this level is unlocked. We can collect that, but nothing's there. So let's reload it. Hit play. As you can see, it's locked. And then we're going to go through here real quick. That's 1 doggy bone. And then that's 11 doggy bones. And then level 2 is unlocked. Now you would do the same thing as you would check, okay, for level 2 is, have you collected, more than 1 doggy bone? Okay, level 3 is unlocked. Or, and then have you collected 20 doggy bones? Okay, you get a gold. If you have collected, more than 15 but less than 20, okay, you get a silver. Or if you've collected, the default only 10 cookies, then you get a bronze. So that's this. Hopefully you enjoyed that and understood it. I haven't uploaded this construct what do you call it, defaults this game yet. I haven't uploaded to a file to where you can download it yet. I'm in the process of actually doing that. I'm making sure that you can actually access all the files, because I've had problems where I moved in, I'm uploading it, and suddenly people can't access it. But I'm fixing that right now. And then the reason why it takes me a while to upload these videos is that I'm rendering it higher than 720. I'm actually rendering it higher than 1080. Then YouTube bunks it down to 1080 or whatever the video settings is at. But I'm trying to make sure you guys can see everything that I'm doing, all these tiny little fonts, so you can follow along. So that's why it's taking a little bit long, but hopefully you guys are understanding it. And in the next episode will be, as like I said, 1 enemy in level 2. And it's going to be a very simple enemy, very simple. I don't think we're even going to go into enemy movements. It's just, if you hit him, you get lower life. He's not going to do that much damage to you. And then if you jump onto him, he dies. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And if you did, please hit the thumbs up. And if you have any questions, just put them down below in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I do usually check these videos almost not every day, but usually I do check them toward the end of the day. Usually at lunch. And with spring break over and me going back to college, I will usually just check them at 3 o'clock in the evening, and then I get right back to you. And if you need a demo, I'll probably can create a demo for you really quickly so you can understand it, and then I can post it where you can download it. So hopefully guys you enjoyed it. Hope to see you in the next tutorial, and hopefully you'll be enjoying that one. So peace out guys.